taken him in to help him catch up, academically and otherwise. Nick could say Noah just took after his father. Joey Stillwell had grown up with Nick and Clay, and he'd always been small, always looked young, even for a werewolf. With Noah, though, there were other problems, namely an alcoholic mother who hadn't stopped drinking during her pregnancy. Add in a rough life with a brutal stepdad, and Joey almost out of the picture, and you ended up with a whole slew of issues, not just delayed maturity, but learning problems and a hair-trigger temper. The last two had much improved since Noah came to live with them, but there was nothing that could be done about the first. At least Noah had finally started his changes a few months ago, which helped. "So, I guess your date went well," Noah said, brows waggling as he took a bite of his apple. "Do Nick's dates ever not go well?" Reese said, reaching for a banana. "How about Russell? Did his date go well, too?" Nick hesitated. He didn't mean to. Reese wasn't fishing, but it took him a second to think up an answer that wasn't an actual lie. That second was all Reese needed. "Ah," Reese said. "Russell's date went home alone." Again, Nick wasn't nearly quick enough, or maybe a flicker of guilt gave him away. Reese burst out laughing. Whoa, no, his date did not go home alone. Was it a trade-up, or did you take double dating to a whole new level?" "Noah," Nick said, "where's your knapsack?" "What?" Noah looked from Nick to Reese as Reese sputtered with laughter. "What do you mean, take double dating?" His eyes widened. "No, you mean—" "I mean, get your knapsack," Nick said. "Reese needs his sleep. These night shifts are making him giggly." "So you both? How? I mean, how does that come up? You ask if they're game?" Nick could ignore the question, but that wasn't his policy with the boys. Ask him anything. That was how Antonio raised Nick. It also meant never ignoring the opportunity to pass along a lesson or advice. "No," Nick said. "It has to be their idea. Otherwise, there's going to be hurt feelings afterward." "Uh-huh," Noah said. "So you wait for women to offer you a threesome? Outside of porn flicks, in what world does that actually happen?" "In Nick's world," Reese said, "which can bear a marked resemblance to a porn flick. Kind of a James Bond high-end porn flick crossover." "No kidding," Noah muttered. "I bet if his car broke down, he'd knock on the nearest door and find sex-starved college girls having an orgy." "Of course not," Reese said. "In the Nick version, it's classy grown women holding a Tupperware party, which turns into an orgy after he arrives." "Okay, ha, Nick said. "Are you going to school today, Noah?" Noah found his knapsack. Nick had to remind him to actually put his homework in it, but 5 minutes later they were off and Reese was headed to bed. As they walked out the door, Noah said, "So, not that I'm likely to ever need it, but do you have any advice on threesomes? Like what to do, what not to do, and how not to piss one of the girls off? Are there guidelines?" "There are." "And you'll tell me?" "Yes," Nick said, "when you're 21. "What? There's an age restriction?" "Yes, it's 21. Before that, it would just be awkward and messy. Get in the car." At 2 that afternoon, Nick was driving across town, very slowly, as one usually drove across New York on a weekday. Normally, he'd have called a driver, but the instructions from Rise Smith's security team had been clear. Use your own car. Bring no one with you. He hadn't even been given directions until he was on the road. All very cloak and dagger, which would amuse the hell out of Reese after his James Bond joke. The truth was, Nick's life resembled that of the international spy only superficially. Yes, he had no problems with women. Yes, he had money and knew how to dress, what to drive, and so on. He could hold his own in a fight or a